good morning. Also, good morning to you, Sir Brian. So, we are from Group 2. So, our topic for today is all about disadvantages of teaching science in early childhood education. So, number 1, lack of time and space for science. So, good science investigations take place over extended time, both short-term and long-term. So, it engages children may stay with something for significant periods of time. And some children may need time to get involved. So, kabalo man jud ta nga every nga pagabuhaton nato nga kailangan jud nato og time because time is gold for us to know and for us to learn more. So, kailangan jud nga natay time management sa ato ang every life nga atong pagabuhaton. And also, the typical schedule in the classroom of young children often militates against inquiry-based science learning. Short to 20 or 30 minutes activity or choice times allow children to start but not continue their work. In addition, if science work is episodic and not available regularly during the week, continuity is lost and opportunity to draw conclusions reduced. So, dapat jud nga tagaan natong saktong oras ang mga bata. Kanang dapat 2 to 30 minutes kay, di ba ang mga bata man jud kay kanaang dili jud sila ingon nga paspas kayo ang ilahang thinking. Dapat naga-process pa jud siya. So dapat tagaan natong saktong oras ang mga bata ug tagaan natong kaning makahatag pa sila kanang knowledge bitaw para makabalo sila kung unsay angan nilang buhaton. And next. Also, the second is lack of discussion and representation in science. So, discussion and representation are both critical to science learning and an important part of the inquiry process and the involvement of science reasoning. So, both in small groups and in large ones, discussion encourages children to think about what they have experienced, listen to the experiences of others, and reflect on their ideas. So, we all know nga, if we have a lack of discussion, di ba, if ang bata is dili jud nimo ma-expand og tarong, dili nimo mahatag og mga explanation, di ba ang bata kay like mag-think sila, ha, unsa dito siya, unsa di buot pasabot ato, like kulang pa ang knowledge nga gihatag ni teacher sa ako like dili pa siya ingon jud nga kanang gusto pa ko more pa nga makabalo ko. So dapat jud nga as a teacher, dapat you're responsible to discuss well your discussion para jud nga makabalo jud ang bata nga maka-think jud sila mo jud ito ang buot pasabot niya nga kana makahatag ta og idea based on our experiences. So di ba nga if your lack of discussion dili jud nato ma-expound ang atong ma-express ang ato ang buot nga pasabot. Next one is teacher-centered curriculum. So, at one end is the belief that much of the curriculum is centered on the children's ideas and questions. It is constructed by the child and the teacher. At the other end is a structured program with a little child input except during free time. So, the reality of a good science curriculum is that it is set in between these extremes. So, the phenomena and the basic concept are determined by teacher. Like perhaps because of an interest she has observed in classroom, but this need not be the case. Once a phenomenon is introduced and children begin their exploration, their question will guide much of what follows. So, kani siya is dili ni siya teacher-centered. Children-centered ni siya kay di ba dili man jud ang teacher may maghatag og mga questions. Kita man jud nga mga estudyante nga dapat makabalo ta nga ato ihatag ang children is maghatag sila og mga ideas nila, ilang on perception nila and mga question nga para po dili lang manggod ingon nga ihungit nato sa kabata ang mga ang atong mga nabalaan. So dapat po ang mga bata sila po mismo nga makakuha sila kung unsay ilang ilang gusto nga ipahatag. So kanaang like magkuan silang mga question, mangutana sila sa teacher kung unsay kanang buhaton ana or unsay atong magain about ana siya nga topic. So 4 is improper selection and access of materials for science. So the selection of and access to materials are critical to science. So it is true the materials that children comfort and manipulate the phenomenon in question to the extent possible. So the materials must be open-ended, transparent, and selected because they allow children to focus on an important aspect of the phenomenon. So materials that by their appearance and the ways in which they can be manipulated guide what children do and think. So dapat proper ang atong pag-select sa mga materials nga atong ihatag sa bata. For example, di ba, in science, we experimented. So dapat mag-experiment ta, makabaluta nga at mga materials nga atong pagabuhaton is dili siya makadaot sa bata or like kanang for mga acids siya. So di ba ang acid nga na-possible nga masakitan ang bata or kaniang madisgrasya. So dapat jud nga kaning atong isakto bitaw nato kanang i-proper nato og kani ang hatag ang mga materials sa bata. And also dapat i-manipulate nato og tarong ang mga katong mga materials. So kana man good kanang children manipulate guide what children do and think. So dapat nga every nga pagabuhaton nato nga dapat jud nga makabalo mismo ang bata sa ilahang buhaton nga butang. And also dapat jud nga kaniang atong mga access sa atong mga materials is kaning dili siya harm sa mga children. Lack of expertise in teaching science. So many primary teachers haven't received extra training in teaching science, so leading to low confidence in teachings and less effective science lesson. So the teacher who has teaching expertise understand how children learn, recognize learning differences, are able to use multiple instructional methods, and are able to adjust curriculum and instructional accordingly. So, lack of expertise. We all know that a teacher must be knowledgeable in teaching. Dapat jud kay naaman jud mga primary teacher nga dili jud sila ingon nga kanang knowledgeable jud kay sila. So dapat ikaw jud mismo nga teacher as educator, dapat kabalo ka sa imong mga gipambuhat. Mas knowledgeable pa ka sa bata. Okay, if ang bata, di ba, naaman yung mga bata nga, grabe ka ayaw mo think bitaw nga, kana siya teacher, mali man na siya nga kuan, kana usad, ang mga bata mga good is, grabe kayo sila mo grabe kayo ilang critical thinking. Okay, kaning daghan kayo sila mahuna-hunaan, di ba? So dapat ikaw nga teacher, like, dili ni may pakita sa imong mga bata nga, kaniyang wala ka kabalo. So for example, magamit ka mga abstractional observation nga dili nimo ipahalata sa kabata nga wala ka nakahibalo ana. So kanang munta na sila unsa di pasabot anak nimo teacher, dili jud nimo ipakita sa imong galingon nga kanang wala ka kabalo, dili ipakita nga kaning lack of confidence ka. Dapat kani ang tingnan nimong bata nga kani ang pwede i-assignment ato na or kanang mag-search mo para makakuanta ana niya dayon para makabalusad mo. Diba? So, inga na nga pamaagi, you are expert na ka in teaching as a science. So, kana siya, kana jud nga, kana nga mga example sa isa ka bata, if you're a knowledgeable teacher, so, dapat jud ang teacher kay their expertise understand how children learn. So, makabaluta kung naabad jud masabtan ang bata. And also, kaning you're able to use maggamit ka mga instructional methods para pod nga mas more on pa nga makahatag kag kaniang mas more nga learning nga imuhang ipahibalo sa isa ka bata. So that's all my topic.
So this is the continuation of our report. So number 6 is about lack of student interest in science. So science is a way of knowing that is characterized by empirical criteria, logical arguments, and skeptical review. So lack of interest can be caused by difficulty concentrating, emotional difficulties, learning disabilities, and many other factors. There are a lot of factors that affect the reasons why pupils do not like science subjects. For example, science deals with the problem solving. Students often view problem solving as a difficult and very hard to comprehend with. So, there are some students are dili kaingon nga like sa science. It is because there are some students nga mga experimenting o kanang mga kanang the way nga observe sila og like sa animals because of kanang kay sila kanang sensitive. So dili na to matawag na siya disadvantage because kay not all pupils are like science. So next is number 7. So lack of materials and equipment. So based on experience and research, the lack of materials and equipment to teach science is one of the major problems of teaching, especially in the primary schools. It is very important to render original, quality, first-hand experience to the pupils because it makes the work easier for them to understand and develop liking for science. Because presently, most pupils develop a mind block for science, and most of them were introduced to science using a boring method, and as a result, they develop a negative mind towards science. So, dali na ito makita ang kanang kakulangan sa equipment sa mga bata. It also kanang the way of, for example, is kanang experimenting gihapon is there are some schools or some facilities are kanang lack of kanang material. So this disadvantage kailangan yun na to siya kanang we need to kanang mag-adapta sa all of kanang like teachers nga makuha na to ang mga bata for the facilitating or sa materials nga atong magamit. So 8 is lack of proper teaching facility for the teaching of science. So it's another problem in teaching science. A teacher of science would not be able to always function in a regular classroom or a cramped classroom because it is difficult to teach children science. Because when it's time to experiment without them not knowing what it feels like to work or experience what a laboratory is like the teacher and the learner will experience some difficulties. So this disadvantage we need kanang lisod jud kay ni siya para sa estudyante kay kung wala ang mga teachers nga mo-guide sa estudyante, well, dili sila mag-work or dili sila maka-experience sa like kanang pag-experiment sa usa ka butang nga kailangan nila i-experiment. Like nakabutang gari is kanang teacher and the learners will experience some difficulties. So maka-experience yun silang mga difficulties about science. So next is number 9 is the negative science schooling experiences and avoiding science in higher education. So many primary teachers have had negative science schooling experiences and subsequently have avoided science in higher education by Anderson and Gilbert 2014. As such, one challenge for teacher education program is to highlight the importance of the science for preserved teachers, develop their science content knowing and attitude and assist first service teacher to gain self-confidence in teaching science to meet the educational needs of their future students. So, there are lots of students nga kanang kuan kay sila sa mga kanang about sa science like kanang reproductive system, sa mga about sa parts sa mga babae or sa lalaki. So, naiuban mga student nga kanang madili pa sila daghan pa sila pangutana nga unsa din na siya teacher, like kanang unsa man na bastos man na there are lots of student na mag-asa na because kay wala pa magud sila na explore or wala pa sila natudlan about sa mga reproductive sa girls and boys. So next is number 10. It affects our lifestyles. So there are some problems that can affect our lifestyle like metabolic disease, joint and skeletal problems, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, overweight, violence, and so on. Can be caused by an unhealthy lifestyle. The relationship of lifestyle and health should be highly considered. So today, a wide change have occurred in life of all people. So this disadvantage is also can affect our lifestyle because there are some students are kakulangan sa katimbang. Then there are some student malnourished. So we need to kailangan nyo na to i-guide at kailangan as a teacher, we need to have a feeding program para sa itong mga estudyante. Para sa kung malnourished ang usa ka estudyante, well, ato silang i-apply sa feeding program para ang ilang weight is magtaas-taas na po. So that's all the part of my report. So thank you.
I am the third reporter and this is the continuation of our report. Okay, so let's proceed to the number 11, which is the development delays. So when we say development delays, children with developmental delays may find the pace of preschool frustrating, which can lead to feelings of alienation. There are state and federal programs in place to provide needed support for mainstreaming children with disabilities into preschool program. So when we say alienation, it is sa Bisaya pa na is pagbulag sa mga estudyante. So when we say developmental delay, so when we say delay, nowadays most of the students are kanang dili na sila ka-focus sa ilahang mga study because of there are some circumstances nga possible na naka-affect sa ilaha, which is kanang dula-dula, mga ingon ana. So mao na silang na-delay kay wala na sila naka-focus sa eskwela sa ilang study, and also dili na sila ganahan maminaw sa maestra or instructors nila, which is nga unta makatabang sa ilaha. Okay, so let's proceed to the next, and it is the improper use of technology in teaching science. Okay, so when we say improper use technology in teaching science, people rely so much in technology that their physical health is affected. So science and development have a very adverse impact on nature, including the exploitation of natural resources and leading to deforestation. People use technology as a weapon for illegal activities. First, it has increased anxiety in our lives. Second, when technology falls into the wrong hands, it can have a negative impact on society, such as the rising rate of cybercriminality, hacking, theft of personal information, and pornography website. So, ang kuan manggod karon, ang technology karon is they develop more. So makita gid nato nga some technologies karon are na-develop. So once gali nga binuangan gali sa usa ka tawo ang isa ka technology, dili lang kay gamay ra ang possible nga apekto ani sa tuang society or sa whole world. So dako kayo siya og impact, which is nga makita gid nato karon nga ang mga bata karon is wala na gyud sila mag-focus sa ilang eskwela because of the produce of technology like for mga digitals, mga ingon ana. So if ever nga makuan gali nila, ma-improper nila gamit ang technology, kanang dili lang kay sa kalibutan kundi madaot sa mga nanggamit ani, which is nga kana bitong kanang mahimo na nilang, for example sa mga digital, for example cellphone. So magamit nila dira nga makakuha sila mga improper use of that nga kana bitong makuha nila kanang pusa good. Okay, so ang kuan man gud sa mga bata karon is kay since nga kabalo na gyud sila mo gamit sa digital, it can cause the most kana bitong cyberbullying. Mo ginay one impact sa kuan karon sa mga digital. So mo na sila nga mao ni first, he has increased anxiety in our lives. Second, when technology falls into the wrong hands, it can have a negative impact on society. So not really, or not only to the society, as what I have said kanina, it also affect to our daily lives, which is can cause nga kana bitawng magkakontra-kontra na, magkaingon ana, like for example kana na may kaaway sa gawas nga niya sige na mo kuan dayon, magkasumpake na dayon. So mo na ang kuan kanang magkuan na dayon, magkontrahay na dayon. Okay, so next one is the limitation on creativity and free exploration. So critics of kinds attending preschool argue that introducing them to the idea of teacher being the sole resource of information can limit their range of learning and ability to think creatively. So when 4 years old attend preschool, they unconsciously narrow their thinking and only consider the information their teachers provide. In contrast, kids who don't attend preschool tend to search for a wider range of information and consider more options. So, being as a future educator, dili na to paano ng atong mga estudyante, dili na to pasagdan or ato na siyang pasagdan to explore more. Dili na to sila bugngan. Kay when we say kuan manggod ang mga bata, kay kuan gyud na sila kana bitaw ganahan gyud kaayo na sila mo explore sa mga palibot nila, which is makakuan gyud sila ilahang kaugalingong explorations. Like for example, bulak. Makakita sila bulak, sila naging makakuan ba dili na nato mismo itudlo. Then sila na nakabalo kung unsa na nga butang nga ilang nakita. So let them explore. Then if they have questions, so kung na sila pangutana, so let them answer kung kaya, kung paminaw nimo nga as ikaw ang instructor nila, kung kaya nila nga tumago na through exploration. So sila ra gihapon ang imong ikuana na, sila ra gihapon ang imong paansiron. Then kung lisod na kali kaayo ang pangutana nila, like for example kanang mga dili na gyud siya kana na gyud pandagko, then kuan nila, then answer nila kung maayo ba na nga pangutana or dili. So if ever nga natay mga estudyante nga mga bata, let them explore, let them kana bitong sila gyud mo ipapangitaa sa kaugalingon nilang mga answers. So dili na to limitahan ang pagkuan sa atong mga bata. Siguro mag-limit lang ta if ever nga nakabuhat na sila o dili maayo sa ilahang mga classmates or etc. Okay, the next will be the learning too early. So this is a special concern with academic programs, learning subjects such as reading, writing, and math before one's reading can lead to frustration and interfere with the love of learning. So actually, kanang pag sa learning too early, like for example, na force ra ang mga bata. So it doesn't mean nga kuan na siya kanang good na siya. So ang kuan na is dili gid siya maayo nga ipakuan sa mga bata nga sayon. For example, kanang reading. So once nga kuano na tong bata nga palarguhon na tong basa without teaching. So lisod sa ilaha kay since nga nata sa early childhood, lisod pa ang una natong buhaton is for example magkuanta kana bitaw mag-segmenting or oral blending para more pagyud sila nga mas makabalo sila mo basa. So dili na to sila largon nga kana basahan na ayaw, mali na nga way. So the next is writing. So ang writing is kanang dili pud siya maayo nga ato siyang sige kani siya class ato ning sulaton tanan. Dili kay maski ang mga early childhood lisod kaayo magsulat og isa ka letter without the guidance of a instructor. So, much better nga, for example nga, ang mga bata is tudluan po natong hinay-hinay sa way of teaching, mga basic skills of writing. So, for example, magkuhan ka dirang mga letter A, yung ana-anaon dira, putol-putol, tas sila nang i-connect. As usual, kanang kinahanglan sa nimo ikanabit ang but nga nimo by number para makabalo sila nga asa nila i-connect. So, ang learning too early dili siya tanan nga bad. So there are sometimes nga good, but some of the learning too early have a negative effect. So mao na siya nga ang mga bata it can lead them to kanang kitang lisod na gyud kayo nila nga kuan kanang ma-frustrate na sila, wala na sila kabaloon sa ilang angay ng buhaton. Okay, so let's proceed to the next, which is the too rigid. So many preschools don't allow children to attend when they are sick. So some are also closed during the summer and statutory holidays and may not offer before or after career program. So when we say rigid, it is kuan kana bitong stricto. So kanang mga preschools dili na nato sila strictohon in terms of learning process kay ang ilahang kuana na nato dili na pareha sa mga junior high school, mga senior high school nga when kanang mabasa na lang gali nila is makasabot na sila. So ang dili na to sila strictohon. So kung naa sila pangutana about sa ilahang mga kanang mga ingon ani, so ato silang tubagon sa insakto para ma-guide sila into the right way para makuha nila para masabta nila kung unsa ang ilang buot pasabot, and also dili na tong kanang ato silang pasagdan in kanang bisag sayop na dili na to sila badlungon or tudloan. So we must we must teach them also kanang insakto, which is nga maka-guide yun sa ilaha para para ma-achieve nila ang ilang goals sa kinabuhi. Okay, so let's proceed to the loose concentration. Okay, so without having proper care for students while online classes by teachers, they can easily lose focus on studies. Also, virtual classes can be done through phone or laptop gadgets where students can easily move to games or videos or YouTube for entertainment. This completely makes them go off track from the subject studies. So, kaning lost concentration, dili lang ni para sa mga early childhood. So, since we are college na, or naay mga colleges also nga, ginabuhat gyapon ni, which is, for example, kanang online classes. So, even nag-online classes sila, kanang ilar ng ibak, which is nga kung maboringan sila sa klase, kay for example, kanang lack of kanang dili na wala na kayo yung internet, hinay na ang net, so ilan ang ibak, then mo maboringan din sila kay since karat-karat na yung tingog dito as an instructor, so mo balin sila sa YouTube or games, bato sila para matambalan nila ang or makuha nila nga makuanan ng ilahang boring makuan. So kaning nga binuhatan is not only for children ha. So ang kaning way of kaning mga disadvantages, it can affect really to the students or to their focuses of their learning. So if we are really to achieve our goals, so dili ta mag-ingon ani. So one kanang while magklase yung tata, dili na to magbakbak, dili ta kanang mangita tagway sa atong kaugalingon, which is kanang makatabang gyud kanang kita sa students man good na naa nato ang kanang kung gusto ta maka-learn na gina nato. So kay since lost concentration man, so mao ni ang ilang dili na gyud kaayo sila maka-focus through online. So some of the teachers nowadays are really need to kanang kinahanglan nila ang mga estudyante nga mas mo cooperate sila in regards to face-to-face class kaysa online classes. Kay kung mo kuanta sa face-to-face class man good, lagi dira nga makakuan ang estudyante, makakita ang maestro sa ilang gibuhat, makabadlong. Kay ang online class is kanang dili man good makita gyud, kay pwede ra gyud kayo kamo back din kung gitawag na ka, then pwede ra mo kamo balik sa kuan. So okay, so those are the disadvantages in teaching science in early childhood education. I hope that we can avoid these disadvantages in teaching science in early childhood education so that it can lead us to be an effective teacher.